Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well here. Um, so I hope you're all doing well here today for another game day flight. Today we're back in the FIFA World Cup, and today we'll be going through our World Cup semifinal matchup, or actually quarterfinal matchup here for the World Cup, and we're going to be here for the Argentina-Switzerland match. Pretty big stuff going on for this World Cup, of course, between these two clubs. A bit of background for this matchup. For Argentina, they once again made another run to the semifinals. Once again. Once again, Argentina is already in the semifinals. They made it last year, last World Cup, and they eventually won the entire thing. But Argentina definitely have had a great run to the World Cup. Switzerland, on the other hand, this is their first quarterfinal appearance since 1954. It's been over 70. It's been 72 years since it's last happened for the Swiss. So if Switzerland were to beat Argentina on Sunday, it would absolutely be the biggest win in Switzerland's history for the Swiss national team. It would be far and away the biggest win the Swiss national team will ever have. So, huge, huge game today. And there's going to be a lot of history at stake for today. So before we get started, I do want to say hello to everyone in chat and all the lurkers. I hope you're all having a good weekend. I hope your weekend was great and a good week. So here's our flight plan. We'll take off here from Drake Field. We'll make our way from Drake Field over to Fayetteville, the home of the University of Arkansas, the Razorbacks. So we'll fly over the University of Arkansas. Then we'll head east into Branson, Missouri, heart of the Ozarks, of course. Then from there we'll head north into Springfield, Missouri, and then we'll make our way to our first stop at Boulevard Municipal Airport. Mike 17. Then from there we'll go for Mike 17. We'll head northwest into Kansas City, Missouri. We'll visit the site for today's matchup at Arrowhead Stadium, or Kansas City Stadium for this cup, and there's Kauffman Stadium as well. Then we'll head into downtown. We'll fly over the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum of the Black Baseball Museum. And then we'll fly into downtown and land at the historic Charles B. Wheeler Downtown Airport in Kansas City. We'll make that to be our final stop. Pretty easy flight. Not too many things going for it. So the plane we'll take today, of course, is something I haven't flown in a very long time. The Antonov AN2 was just updated for the AAU update. But the AN2 is a plane I have not flown in a very long time. And if you guys don't know about this biplane, this Soviet biplane has been around since 1947. It was manufactured up to 2001, producing over 18,000 units. This plane is legendary for its durability, lifting power, and it can take off and land on poor runways. And it's been used by both military and civilian aviators around the world. And it's done all sorts of things, from crop dusters, scientific for atmosphere sampling, water bombers, air ambulances, seaplanes, and paratroopers. Yeah, it's been used everywhere you can think of. The AN2 is a true definition of a workhorse, especially around the world. This plane is powered by a pretty enormous 1,000 horsepower radial piston engine. It can carry 12 passengers with a range of 456 nautical miles, and it can climb to 14,000 feet. At a cruise speed of 100 knots, but it can go up to 139 knots if needed to be. So like I said, very capable aircraft. It could do everything that you would want it to do. So we'll go ahead and get this Antonov AN2. It's been a good bit since I've actually started this thing, so this is why I brought the checklist. Inspection is complete. So I've already done the pre-flight checks. So we'll go ahead. So we'll get going here very soon. So we'll get up and going. So, hey, Planet Neutral, good to see you, my dude. I hope you're having a good week. I hope your week went okay. So, here's a shout out to Planet Neutral. Great local area streamer from my local home state of Indiana. Really great stuff. He does a lot of all sorts of work, karaoke and all that too. Oh, nice, Deer Creek. Oh, that should be enjoyable. Very cool, my dude. Oh yeah, that's all the way in Noblesville. I know that place. Now I realize what it is. Deer Creek is the Noblesville amphitheater. Ah, fantastic. I wonder where they got hosted here. Uh, I wonder who's going to be at the amphitheater tonight. Oh, Fish, of course. Why not surprised? Oh, that's be awesome watching. Get to see Fish again. I'm not surprised knowing you, but yeah, I hope you have an excellent time at the concert. Um, so yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's been called a lot of things, but Deer Creek is the more affectionate name given by a lot of the locals. So here we go, guys. My first flight in the AN2 in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. So here we go. We're on. Yeah, look at this thing. No problem taking off. The AN2. What a machine. The Antonov AN2. So yeah, we're in beautiful Arkansas. We're in the heart of the Ozarks. Beautiful place. See for sure. But yeah, Fayetteville, Arkansas is actually Arkansas's second biggest city. It's most famous for being the home of the University of Arkansas. Especially football is a huge deal. After they have won national championships in both football and basketball, of course. And they also have a pretty decent baseball program too for the Razorbacks. But yeah, Arkansas football's big. They play at the Razorback Stadium, which seats 76,000 people. Yes, in the heart of Arkansas. So we'll be flying to here too. So we'll be so pretty cool stuff. The Razorbacks football program. The football program mainly has rivalries with LSU, Missouri, Ole Miss, and then Old Texas and Texas A&M are like their five big rivals. So here's Fayetteville, Arkansas. Yeah, I do like the AN2. I've always liked this plane. Very cool. So here's Arkansas. Here's the University of Arkansas. here as well. But beautiful area, of course. So I've already got multiple of the Gameday flights thing already set up. I got multiple ones set up for the Gameday flights, set up for the next couple of months. Hey, Ebonia's player, good to see ya. Another legend in the community, in the Fight Sim community. Good to see you, Ebonia's player. I hope you're doing well as always. I hope you've had a good week as well. Here's a shot for you, my dude. We're going to do a flight from Fayetteville over to Kansas City for the upcoming Argentina-Switzerland match on Saturday, of course. Huge game, of course. Massive matchup between two very interesting sides. So yeah, there's the University of Arkansas right in the distance. It always likes to go to the left, so I'll try to keep it. But yeah, very interesting plane to fly, but this thing's an absolute beast of an aircraft. So, very interesting choices. And since this doesn't have autopilot like some of the airplanes I've been flying here, I may have to get back into the plane a bit. Hey, good to see you, LR1C. Good to see you. First time in chat. I hope you're doing all right. For me at least, my week's going pretty good. I just got some new fan gear on Saturday. I got me early in the week. I got me some new football gear for RCD Espanol. For La Liga, got me some new fan gear that I finally got the white and blue kit. Looks pretty cool. Pretty cool looking white and blue kit. They just came out with the new away kit, which I think may be the better looking kit, ironically. Which actually looks good in red. Hey, and we got a follow from X Gothic Bunny. Good to see you. Thank you for the follow, Gothic Bunny. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, I hope you're all having a good day here, of course. So some big stuff this week. For all this. So now, of course, there was some pretty big sports stuff this past week. For the channel, of course. So for World Cup matches, of course, yesterday was the France-Monaco game for the first quarterfinal match, and France completely dominated 2 goals in the second half by Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele, put France into the semifinals once again as France take care of Morocco. Tough luck for Morocco. They were Africa's last chance to get a winner, which means once again the winner of this World Cup is either going to be from South America or Europe. So definitely a very tough defeat. In terms of the other matches in the week, we know the knockout phase, the United States absolutely got dismantled by Belgium. Yeah, I guess that was karma for President Trump and Infantino trying to influence with the suspensions business. That should have never have happened in the first place. I guess that was karma for everything. But no, the United States played absolutely terrible. Millie Tillman was the one bright spot on that team. Belgium completely dismantled the United States. Yeah, the U.S. was not ready to win the World Cup anytime soon. It's got a long way to go. Hopefully, once Trump leaves office and all that, hopefully the United States can be better by 2030 because, yeah, it's going to take a long time before all that stuff gets through. So, definitely something to keep in mind for the United States, of course. But I think they'll be back in the 2030 World Cup, and hopefully next time they do a bit better than just being in the round 16. Hopefully they get to the quarterfinals. So, for that. The other matchups this weekend, of course, we have Spain versus Belgium. Vamos España. Spain needs to win, beat Belgium, of course, for us. And then the team I'll be probably supporting for the rest of the Cup is England. They got Norway next, which should be fun to see how England takes care of Norway. And then, of course, today's matchup, Argentina and Switzerland, will also be tomorrow. So, pretty important stuff here going on for the rest of you guys for this weekend for the World Cup. So, pretty big matchups, of course. Other sports as well. Baseball has adjusted itself for the Major League Baseball. So, it's not been very good at all. If you're a Reds fan like myself, the Reds continue to be, they're going to be the worst team in the Central. Hopefully, thankfully they're not the worst team in the National League. When you have the Giants, Rockies, and Mets still exist. But yeah, baseball looks to be dominated by this. LA Dodgers look to completely dominate the National League. In the American League, it's been the Tampa Bay Rays ruling the American League for the Rays. So maybe Rays Dodgers in the World Series, a rematch of 2020, would be a very fascinating matchup for sure for baseball. Hey, Court, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So we're going to be here today. So we're doing the big match with Argentina and Switzerland today. So I'm going to be out there for too long because I know this thing doesn't wax the autopilot. So it will turn left. So this is the Ozarks. You can see some of the lakes and rivers here. Absolutely gorgeous region in this part of the United States. Definitely a very pretty part here. Beautiful scenery, of course. It's going very good, Quartz. Thank you for asking. But I've already planned out the game day flights ahead of time, so I've already picked out which ones I picked ahead of time. So there's going to be a lot of matchups this year, of course. And this time, this upcoming fall, I've already picked out all the games for it. And I mainly picked because I try to pick as many unique places we get to go. So I picked more unique matchups in more different places. Not just always the biggest teams. So for this football season, of course, for soccer, for Europe, we picked all sorts of places. Starting like August, we get Japan, Ireland, France, Brazil, Spain, Argentina. There's going to be one in Denmark in November. Is Denmark. Then we have Croatia in December. In December 18th. December 25th is Portugal. Italy. Then we have Scotland. Serbia. Turkey. And more. We got tons of new unique locations for the next game day flights. So we got plenty on the schedule. So we're going to go through it. So big time stuff, of course. Lots of stuff planned for the next couple of weeks. So I wanted to ask you guys an important question for all of you guys who wanted to know. The major question I wanted to ask you guys So got some big stuff going forward for the community. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of the stuff here. So briefly, I do want to cover the Switzerland national team here in Switzerland. So the Swiss have just made the quarterfinals for the first time since 1954. They've been through four semifinal appearances. In 1934, 1938, 1954, and 2026 have been all their semifinals appearances. They're represented by the Swiss Football Association. They even hosted a World Cup all the way back in 1954, where they played against Austria in the quarterfinals match, which they lost 7-5, which is still the highest scored World Cup match of all time. They also were also notable in the 2006 World Cup, where they've been eliminated despite not conceding a single goal. And they've been eliminated by Ukraine after penalties in the round 16. And they did not concede a goal until a match against Chile in 2010, which set a World Cup record for the most consecutive minutes without conceding a goal. In addition to this, Switzerland and Austria also co-hosted the UEFA 2008. Of course, they didn't make the group stage after they hosted it, but they did, however, have made several improvements through the years. They went to the round 16 in 2016, the quarterfinals in 2020, and then they did the same thing in 2024, being the reigning champions of Italy during that time. However, if you want to go back to the best result ever for Switzerland, it was silver medal in the 1924 Summer Olympics in Paris, where they were eliminated by Uruguay 3-0 in the finals for Uruguay. But yeah, Switzerland have been pretty much a rising power in football nowadays in the 2010s. Right now, they're 19th in the world. Their highest ever was 3rd in the world. Their lowest was 83 in the world. But yeah, if they get a big win against Argentina on Saturday, which is a very real possibility, then yeah, people might take Switzerland actually very seriously. They actually got a really good squad with some really good players in that team too. Obviously, with the captain Granit Xhaka, who's a really talented veteran. He's got a lot of experience on his belt. They got Embolo from Stade Rennais, really good talented player. They also got plenty of other really talented players. Remo Freuler from Bologna. Of course, they got the vice captain Ricardo Rodriguez. He's their vice captain. They got some really talented players who've been through plenty of experience, of course, and they got some really solid players. So yeah, I think Switzerland is quite an underrated team, if you ask me. Definitely not someone that I think people want to underestimate. So, very solid national team, lots of potential. I think they can do some really, really good things in this World Cup. So in terms of their national team kit, Switzerland mainly wore, of course, mainly wear the red shirts, white shorts, and red socks, with the away kit being reverse, white, red, white. However, they, like this picture here, they sometimes have wore all red and all white kits are not uncommon at all. Switzerland, having been established since 1895, have always had the same color code as tradition in homage to the national colors that derive from the Swiss flag. And their manufacturer has been Puma since 1998. Now, a fascinating thing about Switzerland, of course, if you guys aren't aware about the country itself, Switzerland actually has 4 different national languages. That being, of course, German. German is the most spoken. Then outside of German, you have 23% is French, 8% is Italian, and then less than 1% speak a native language to this area, Romanish, which is basically the local language here. So you have 3 different languages, You have 4 different languages, and there's also a lot of religious diversity between Catholicism and Protestantism, as well as some in no religion in Islam. So, mm, so pretty big stuff about Switzerland, of course, but the national team definitely has a lot of has interesting kid history too. So, pretty important stuff. Now, of course, in terms of areas where the Swiss national team plays, um, let me go ahead. Um, it now because of the unique federal structure of this country, because it's got multiple different cantons, the make of Switzerland, the larger geographic regions have an equal share of football. The 4 largest cities of Switzerland, Basel, Bern, Geneva, and Zurich, all established themselves as the main venues in the early years. There's also another main venue that was added in 1923, Stade Olympique de Pontaise in Lausanne. However, it was last used in 1999. As of 2023, Switzerland mainly plays games at the St. Jakob Park in Basel, the Stade de Genève in Geneva, the Swiss Arena at Lucerne, and the Cabon Park in St. Gallen are mainly the stadiums they mainly play here in Switzerland. Um, So we'll be getting to Branson soon. So our first waypoint after this is Branson, Missouri. You guys all probably know Branson for being a very major tourist destination. It's basically the Ozarks version of Pigeon Forge. Very popular for tourism, of course. So that's going to be our next waypoint. Um, One of the biggest things I do want to say, of course, is for some of the flight sim stuff, for flight sim content. Murphy's going to be back, of course, today. He'll be doing a flight in Yosemite National Park for the new update. In Yosemite National Park. Half Moon Bay, Mariposa, and Yosemite. Though the thing is Yosemite was not covered in the new update. So So he'll be back here on Saturday, of course. Allie will be back Saturday as well for her historical flight. I think she'll be back with another historical flight. So, doing pretty good here for just getting ready to hit the Branson, Missouri. 187 nautical miles out of our first stop at Boulevard Municipal Airport. So, in terms of other games this weekend, of course, outside of the World Cup, it was originally going to be Malaby and AIK this weekend in Sweden. And of course, Sunday also had I had some stuff here. So we're going to continue moving forward here. Let's take a look outside, of course. Yep. Just look at the scenery, though. It's very impressive scenery here this morning. Flying the good old Antonov AN-2. As well. So, like I said, not as easy without the GPS and all that, but I'll handle it. But yeah, this is still a very cool aircraft, the AN-2. Very neat aircraft. So, we're going to be going ahead and getting our way to Branson. So, Branson, Missouri is coming up. So, Branson, for guys who don't know this place, Branson is 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 located in the Ozarks, and it's basically a major tourist place known for its diverse entertainment. They also feature Marble Cave, the Wild West style Dixie Stampede dinner attraction, and their own amusement park, Silver Dollar City. And it's been very popular for vacationers from Missouri and around the country had visit this place. So here it is, guys. Branson will be coming to our right. So we'll be coming up soon. So there's Branson in the distance. So right over here is the Table Rock Lake. Very popular for a lot of people who want to do fishing and all that here. This artificial lake, of course, is very well known for crystal clear waters, and it's an outdoor paradise famous for boating, world class bass fishing, and Ozark views. So very cool place to do some fishing, of course. that's going to be coming up next. We'll go ahead and turn left here very soon. I know the plane's already trying to turn left. I'm trying to keep this thing straight. So yeah, there's downtown Branson. Right in the distance is downtown Branson, Missouri. Absolutely gorgeous scenery here. Gorgeous landscapes, of course. So here's downtown Branson, but look at the views of the Ozarks. This is just a gorgeous view. So we're going to go ahead and turn left, and we'll make our way to Springfield, Missouri. So we'll continue on further north into Springfield. So we'll go ahead and continue that way, head straight. So we'll continue on straight forward. So one of the other really important parts So we're going to continue on making our way over to Springfield, Missouri. So. So we'll be making our way over to here, of course. So let's go ahead and finish up Switzerland for a bit. So yeah, this is the national team honors. Not very much. Just the one silver Olympic in the 1924 Olympic Games. That's kind of their honor. It's pretty bare, of course. But to be fair to them, Switzerland isn't exactly a place you know for having a really successful team, of course. And here's some of their most notable players. These are just some of their most notable ones. Probably their greatest talent and probably Switzerland's most notable player, of course. That being, of course, and that, of course, is going to be Switzerland's very own team captain, Granit Xhaka. He's their captain and he's the most capped player for the team with 151 caps, and he's definitely one of the greatest Swiss players of all time. Known for his reputation as a technically gifted and natural leader. He was a big part in his club career. He started at FC Basel before starting at Borussia Mönchengladbach. But of course, he's most well known for his long tenure at Arsenal. Then he was a big part of Bayer Leverkusen's Bundesliga title. And of course, he's now part of Sunderland. And he played a big piece in helping them get to European qualification in their first season of being promoted, which is absolutely incredible. Incredible talent. Very well known for his shooting abilities as an attacking midfielder and playmaker. Then, of course, next one on the list is their all-time leading goal scorer, Alex Frey. He was a big part striker, played for a lot of his career at the Swiss League for Basel, Thun, FC Luzern, Servette. Then he went into the French League at Stade Rennais, and then of course played a few seasons at Borussia Dortmund, and then ended his career with a second tenure at FC Basel. Played a big part of all those, and of course he had a long career with the Swiss national team. Then the next one, of course, is Ricardo Rodriguez, who's their second leading all-time being capped player. Started at FC Zurich before playing a very long time at VfL Wolfsburg. Then played a couple seasons at AC Milan. Then he played for Torino, and he then ended his career with Real Betis. For Real Betis. Now he's a free agent, of course. Then some of the other notable talents include Max Abelgan, who is their second leading all-time goal scorer, ties second leading all-time goal scorer. Then you have Xherdan Shaqiri, who currently plays in the Swiss Super League for FC Basel. Jan Sommer, of course, very well-known goalkeeper for his exceptional reflexes. And he mainly now he did play most recently at Inter Milan, but he also played for Borussia Mönchengladbach. And there's probably a few more other players, but these are just the most notable ones from Switzerland. Hey, good to see you, Nightwolf. I hope you're having a good day too. Here's a shout for Nightwolf. Great guy. He runs a really very big and very impressive virtual airline. Does tons of streams. So definitely check out his channel. So we're doing the Argentina-Switzerland match. So here's Springfield, Missouri coming up. We got Springfield. For guys who may not know about Springfield, Missouri, Springfield, Missouri is most well known for being, of course, the biggest city in southern Missouri, 169,000 people. Nicknamed the Queen City of the Ozarks and the birthplace of Route 66. This place is the home to the headquarters of the Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, and the adjoining Wonders of Wildlife Museum and Aquarium, which is really cool from what I've known. It's also the home of it's close to Wilson Creek National Battlefield. And of course, it's also got some other really neat landmarks to check out, of course. So here's Springfield, Missouri. Fun fact about the Springfield Aquarium here, the Wonders of Wildlife Museum Aquarium, it actually features, it was reopened in 2017, and this thing is absolutely huge. It features a 1.5 million gallon aquarium with over 35,000 individual fish, amphibians, birds, reptiles. And of course, it's absolutely huge. It's a huge place. With the largest immersive wildlife attraction in the world. It's absolutely huge. They got a big aquarium, and they also got a wildlife gallery with 4D dioramas. Um, they got all sorts of places. You got Native American Hall for the Native Americans. They got a recreation of Teddy Roosevelt's Maltese Cross Cabin, a Lewis and Clark collection of the journals from Lewis and Clark. Of course, they got a Boone and Crockett exhibit for the heads and horns of the significant game animals that people hunt. Game birds, Penguin Cove with real penguins, and an African safari. Got some pretty cool attractions here for a lot of people to visit. So, really cool stuff. So we're about to fly over Springfield, Missouri. We're getting pretty close to stop number 1 today. So, yeah, I'm liking this aircraft a lot. This Antutu is very smooth. So yeah, here's Springfield, Missouri. Like I said, it is a bit more challenging without the autopilot, but I can definitely do some of the flying without it. It's easier with autopilot when I do presentations and stuff. So here it is, guys. So here's Springfield, Missouri. Home of Missouri State University. So here it is, the big old stuff here. Springfield, definitely a pretty cool city. I want to check this place out at some point in the future. So here's the birthplace of Route 66. Pretty cool. And then to our left is Springfield National Airport, Springfield Branson Airport, here in Springfield. So, get back straight. So, hey, you're gonna see a shack. We're in the Southeast Asian server. So here we go. So here's a shot for you, Shack. I hope you're having a good day. So yeah, we're just about 136 nautical miles from our final stop at Charles B. Wheeler Downtown Airport in Kansas City. Good to see you, third Mike. No, good to see you. So, thank you, Typhon. I didn't know it was a bot or not. Like, it sometimes get bad these days. That's why I need your help with that. So I do want to show you something a little quick. I found this site called Legacy Draft. So you get to pick your own team, draft legends, beat record, and make a team that would make history. So basically, this is a really cool free site, free to play. So let's go ahead and do. Let's do a quick start. Let's do Premier League, since English footballs you guys are probably more familiar with. And we're going to play as Bromsgrove. As Bromsgrove Saturday, we got the so let's go ahead and continue. So we picked some of the best Premier League games. We are at the managers, and we're ready to start. So we're going to be drafting a random team. It is random. It's from Premier League history, so it has all the years of the Premier League, and it will have all the teams listed. So let's see what players we could pick for today. For all. Let's see. Aston Villa, 1996-97. I do the most common formation people now run days. The most common formation is the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-3-3 are the most common. So that's why I run 4-3-2-1. So let's see. Dwight York from Trinidad and Tobago. There's Andy Townsend. This is interesting players, but I'm going to take the best one available. Dwight York, central attacking midfielder. He's my cam. So let's see. Next. Portsmouth, 2008-9. There's Sol Campbell. I got to take Sol Campbell. He'd be perfect midfield, backup midfield for the squad. Everton, 2002. Who am I going to take for that position? I could get Kevin Campbell, but I think the smart choice would be to take Steve Watson. And I'm going to put him as my center back. Give me a good center back field. Next one. Middlesbrough, 2008. You know, I'm going to take Mark Schwarzer as my goalkeeper. Round complete. Birmingham City, 2004. I'm not going to take a striker yet, so I'm going to probably take Jamie Chaplin as my right back. Next one. Yes. Kevin De Bruyne as my cam. Yes, give me Kevin De Bruyne. Give me Kevin De Bruyne. That guy. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2021. What? You know what? Since I don't really have any airports available, I'm going to put Jonathan Otto as my left back. This opens up my midfield. Arsenal, yes. Yeah, give me Dennis Bergkamp as my cam. Yeah, give me him. Manchester City. Gotta give me a cam, so I'm gonna give me Gareth Barry as my CDM. Two more players. Oh boy, West Ham 2008. Lee Boyer. You be my CDM. And finally, the last is a striker. Portsmouth. Well, that works. That works. Tay Sheringham. There you go. That's the team. Mainly, it's going to be the attack that's going to be carrying the squad with Kevin De Bruyne, Bergkamp, York. The goalkeeper's going to be a bit sus, but we should be doing pretty good here. So we're going to be getting through this. So let's go ahead and yeah, pretty solid squad. We beat Newcastle United 2-0. Beat Newcastle, beat Fulham. Arsenal, Bournemouth are all wins. So, yeah, gotta make the transfer to get the E6 overall CDM. Everton 2023. Who do I want? Yeah, give me Jordan Pickford. Let's make that. Let's get Jordan Pickford. The Everton legend, Jordan Pickford. It's Southampton. So let's see, and for game. Well, we got second place in the Prem. Second place with 75 points, 22 won, 9 draws. Who did we get second into the table again? Oh, it doesn't say. Okay. But yeah. But basically, we did pretty good here. So yeah, we did pretty good here, guys. Yeah, we might do this again some other time. It's definitely going to be something I'll be doing on the streams. But these are just some really talented players for the Prem. So, Boulevard Municipal is coming to our right. And in fact, it's actually directly to our right. I think we can see the runway down here. So, like I said, it's not easy doing this without the autopilot. It's significantly easier when you have it. Oh yeah, 30 degrees Celsius, warm weather. Yep. So let's see. 433. Let's see. So. There's the airport right down here. So there's our first stop all the way down here. As our first stop. So let's go ahead and get down to the next leg, of course. Less snappy than a Edge 540. I bet so. Here we go, guys. First stop of the day here, Mike 17. On our way over to here. Alright, guys. Lane number 1 in the Antonov. Like I said, did have to change the directions a bit and all that, but definitely a bit of a challenge, but not possible, of course. But the good news is this Antonov should have no problem stopping. It's a STOL aircraft. It's a huge biplane, but it's perfect for this. There, made it down. And I arrived at the airport. Bit dangerous in the landing, but the AN-2 is such a tough plane, it can handle any of these landings. So we'll stop here for the first stop of the day. Hey, good to see you, Lord Blackheart. Hey, Surly, good to see you. Well, we got Argentina next. You're not going to be happy about this one next. Because guess what? It's going to be Argentina next. So we'll be staying here. No worries, Shaq. Um, I understand. So we're gonna be waiting here for just a bit. We'll fly back in the air just a little bit. Like I said, if my flight isn't great, remember this is a plane with no autopilot. It's gonna take me a bit. So we're going to go ahead and get up to the next leg. So here we go, guys. You guys can see the stall capabilities of this massive AA2. Yeah, this thing has freakish stall capabilities. As to be expected with this old aircraft. Yeah, I'm very happy to get this aircraft back in the sim for this 2024. Buzz in the tower. Now we're heading up all the way to Charles B. Wheeler Airport in Kansas City. Look at this, we're buzzing through houses, and we're buzzing through everything. So we're going to be talking about the Argentina national team as soon as we get up and going. Like I said, if I'm not looking outside much in outside the cockpit and stuff, it's because, of course, we have this. So for the stream this week, of course, there will be no streaming on Saturday. I decided to discontinue that for a bit because I want to have a bit of a day off to chill out for a bit. And so no streaming Saturday, of course. Sunday is going to be our next national park, Park 35, Capitol Reef National Park in Utah will be our next national parks series. So we'll be talking about Capitol Reef. Oh yeah, and if you want to know the website, I did the draft stuff. It's called Legacy Draft. This is the site that I've been using to show you guys, of course. So we're going to be going to do that one. We're going to be making our way forward here as well. So let's go ahead and start talking about the Argentina national team. Yes, Argentina, considered to be the best team in the world. Argentina, one of the great powers of international football, has been around, a member of FIFA since 1912. As a governing body, is administered by the Argentine Football Association. It's been a member since 2012 of FIFA and a founding member of the CONMEBOL of South America in 1916. And they're the most recent World Cup champion, having just won it in 2022. They've won two previous ones in 1978 and 1986 and have appeared in 6 World Cup finals. Of course, they're the most successful team in South America, winning the Copa America 16 times, most recently in 2024, and it has victories with. And it's the only team to win the tournament 3 consecutive times in 1945, 46, and 47. They won the Pan American Championship in 1960 and the inaugural FIFA Confederations Cup in 1992. This means Argentina has the most official international titles in the world. With 23, the Argentina players have won the FIFA World Cup Golden Ball 3 times. Diego Maradona took one in 1986. and Lionel Messi in 2014 and 2022. Um, so, very important thing, Argentina absolutely is one of the most powerful football nations on earth. Some more information, they have several nicknames, including La Selección, the selection. Their most famous nickname, La Albiceleste, which is the white and sky blue, and La Scaloneta, of course. Head coach is Lionel Scaloni. He's their manager. Their team captain is, of course, Messi, Lionel Messi. Um, their biggest win ever was a 12-0 win against Ecuador in Uruguay. Their worst defeat was a 6-1 smashing the disastrous Sweden, as they lost to Czechoslovakia 6-1 in 1958. The other big defeat was a 5-0 loss against Colombia in Buenos Aires. And of course, they also lost 6-1 to Bolivia in 2009 in La Paz, and 6-1 in Argentina in Madrid. So big time losses in general. So big time losses, of course, but Argentina, very rich tradition, is one of the great national teams. So, of course, national team, they play in several stadiums, but most of the matches are played at the home of the Estadio Monumental, the home of Club Atlético River Plate, or simply known as River Plate, which is one of the big two teams in Buenos Aires, the other one being, of course, Boca Juniors, who play at the La Bombonera. But they also use the other venue in Santiago, the Estadio Único Madre de Ciudades. The first stadium to ever host matches for Argentina was the GEBA Stadium. As well. And they also played at the Estadio Sportivo Barracas, was also played as well for the 20s. And in one of those moments in 1924, Argentina forward Cesario Anzari kicked directly from a goal kick, which was known as the Olympico goal, which has been only used several other times in the past. So Switzerland had, like I said, Argentina, like Switzerland, played in a variety of different stadiums for the World Cup for their matches, but mostly they're most well known for playing in Buenos Aires, of course. Which I've flown into that big stadium in the sim before when we did the Boca Juniors stream, and we'll be doing that again next season when the two teams next meet. I mean, it is football's greatest rivalry, of course. It's club football's greatest man clash. So it's not really a surprise that we're covering this. In terms of the national team crest, they got one of the most famous national team crests in international football. In 1906, they wore the famous white, blue, and white shirt for the first time against South Africa during their tour of South America. And they held it at the Sociedad Sportiva Argentina in Buenos Aires, and since then, the white and sky blue has remained the definitive kit of Argentina. Now, they've had other kits before, as well, but one very interesting thing that happened was during the 1986 World Cup. The then manager Carlos Bilardo asked the supplier for lighter blue shirts for the quarterfinal against England. However, they cannot be provided. So a member of the coaching staff scoured the shops from Mexico City for 38 plain shirts, which they transformed for their improvised version of their emblem. And with those makeshift jerseys, Argentina beat England on June 22nd, with Maradona scoring his infamous Hand of God goal, and the shirt has become a very popular collector's item. Now, the crest of Argentina wore is the logo of the Football Association, as its emblem was first worn in the 1958 World Cup against Sweden. But it wasn't added to the shirts until 1976 at the Estadio Monumental against the Soviet Union. Of course, They've added 3 stars since then in 1978 for their World Cup victories in 1978, 1986, and 2022. So, big stuff for Argentina, but their white and sky blue are some of the most iconic kits in international football. In terms of rivalries, of course, Argentina has tons of very bitter rivalries. Of course, with a nation like Argentina, you're bound to have some very big rivals, and the biggest one of all is Brazil. It's one of the oldest international rivalries in South America, and it's known as the Super Classic of the Americas, and probably the greatest international football rivalry. These two, after all, not only have comparisons between Pele and Maradona, but feature some of the most talented players that the sport's ever seen. From Garracha and Di Stefano to Neymar and Messi, and more, this is definitely the premier South American rivalry. Then we have England, that has been around from not only the 1966 World Cup, but also the Falklands War. Argentina and England have had numerous confrontations in World Cup tournaments. Of course, most infamously, the 1986 quarterfinal, where Maradona got 2 scores goals against England. And of course, they've also last played in the World Cup in 1988 and 1998 and 2002, which were also quite bitter games as well. Their last match was the 2005 friendly between the two teams. However, the thing is, Argentina and England will have a very good chance of meeting again in this World Cup, assuming England beats Norway and Argentina beats Switzerland. Then we will have a rematch between England and Argentina, which is going to be absolutely insane if this was going to happen. I mean, can you imagine England's reactions if they beat Messi in the World Cup? That would be absolute crazy for the English supporters. It would be absolutely huge, of course. Then their next rivalry is Germany. They played 7 World Cup matches against Germany, including 3 of them being World Cup finals in 1986, 1990, and 2014. Argentina took the first one, but the last 2, it would be Germany 1-0. And of course, they also faced each other in the 2014 final as well, which Germany beat Argentina 1-0 in extra time. Then, of course, you have Uruguay as well, which has been around for decades, of course. This is a very important rivalry for both countries, as this is the most played international match between 2 countries, and after all, it was where they first met in the first World Cup final, which Uruguay won. Of course, these 2 are historically very important. That said, Brazil is still the biggest international rivalry Argentina has in South America, but you can't forget Uruguay was still a very important one for the earlier years of football in South America. Finally is the Netherlands, and they've now ever since developed a very intense rivalry. They met 10 times, including 6 in the World Cup, and the most famous match between the 2 was the Battle of Lusail in the 2022 World Cup, a 2-2 draw against the Netherlands, and Argentina advanced on the penalties. But very intense matches between these clubs, between these nations. Absolutely intense. I hope that gives you a bit of understanding about the national team rivalries for Argentina. These are very bitter. And here is their honors. Yeah, compare that to Switzerland with the 1 Olympic medal. Look at the trophies and honors they have won for Argentina. The 3 World Cups, 3 runners-up, the Olympic Games silver medal in 1928, and look at all the different continental trophies. 16 Copa Americas, 14 runners-up, 3rd place 5 times. Argentina is absolutely one of the giants of international football. Absolutely massive. Of course, as one of the giants, Argentina has produced some of the game's greatest talents, and of course, I would say all stuff about Argentina starts with Diego Maradona. And if you guys don't know about Maradona, you probably live under a rock. English fans will remember him for being the guy who did the hand of God goal. But the dude is an icon. He absolutely is legendary for his vision, passing, ball control, and dribbling. Despite his short 5'5" stature, he absolutely was creative talents. In his club career, he mainly played for Argentino Juniors, then became part of Boca. Then of course, he played Barcelona, but his most famous tenure was at Napoli. And we might talk about his time in Napoli when we do. I got planned a SSC Napoli versus Roma stream coming up. We'll talk about Maradona. But Maradona absolutely is one of the game's greatest players, and he's had a legendary international career too, winning trophies for the 1986 World Cup, and has won many international trophies in the past. But Maradona is an absolute legend in the country. And right next to him is the new Maradona, Lionel Messi. He might be considered by many to be the greatest player of all time. I mean, he's the most decorated player in the history of football. 8 Ballon d'Ors, 6 Golden Shoes, best player by FIFA 8 times. Not bad for a 5'7" guy from Rosario. He played for Newell's Old Boys, but he really became part of Barcelona's legendary youth academy. And as a club career, he's Barcelona's all-time leading caps and goal scorer. And of course, internationally, he had a legendary international career. He's won many trophies in South America, but 2022 was when he finally got his crown achievement, winning the World Cup. Argentina got to win his first World Cup, finally cementing his status as one of the greatest of all time for Messi. Yes, it was a handball. It should have never been counted, but again, VAR did not exist back then, Shaq. It's still one of the most controversial decisions years later. But yeah, VAR did not exist. It would have been one of the few times that VAR would have absolutely changed the results of the game. You're not wrong. VAR handball. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that still doesn't change the fact as one of the biggest moments. Outside of Messi, you have Javier Mascherano, is the second most capped player in Argentina's history. Javier Mascherano. He was most recently Inter Miami's head coach. One of the greatest defenders and midfielders of his generation. In terms of his club career, he played years with Barcelona along with Messi, played in Barcelona. But he also was involved in River Plate, Corinthians, Liverpool, and even in the Chinese league. But in terms of his international career, he has been a big part of Argentina's during his tenure at the Argentina national team. Then of course you have Angel Di Maria. He's third in the total all-time caps. One of the great scoring machines for his dribbling and playmaking. Had a pretty long career. He's still playing at 38 years old for Rosario Central, his boyhood club. He's still playing actually. But he had a long career with Benfica, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, and Benfica, and now Rosario. In terms of international career, he helped become a major part of getting them to multiple World Cup appearances, but he especially was a major contributor in the 2022 World Cup final. Especially with the penalties, of course. He got one of the penalty goals to help win the World Cup for Angel Di Maria. Then, of course, some other ones. You have the Inter Milan legend Javier Zanetti, a legend from Inter. You have the second all-time goal scorer El Angel, Gabriel Bautista, who is a club player, who is most famous for his time at Fiorentina. He's probably considered to be Fiorentina's greatest player. But of course, other ones, you also have Sergio Aguero, the third leading all-time cap scorer, one of the great players of his era. Then you have Lautaro Martinez. He's on the rise. He's the star of Inter Milan, another Inter star, and many more to list. But what I'm trying to say is that there is so many iconic players that Argentina has had over the decades. Absolutely legendary talents. Yeah, no worries, Shaq. This is what coming to my stream's all about. Yeah, really do appreciate it. But yeah, the handball was definitely infamous for that. Like I said, welcome to what a lot of people in the United States may not know about football either. So, um, so. So we're about 65 nautical miles from Kansas City. We have the beautiful parkways coming up. So we're getting very close to Kansas City. We're not too far away. So lots of stuff going on. Of course, the next game day flight will be the World Cup final. For who I think is going to make it, here's what I predict is going to be in the final. So who do I think is going to make the final? For games this week, I have Spain beating Belgium. Norway is crushed by England. Sorry, Norwegian fans, but Holland is eventually met his kryptonite against England. Then I have Argentina beating Switzerland. It won't be easy, but the Argentines get the win. The semifinals will be Argentina versus France versus Spain, and I think this will be an excellent matchup. But in the end, I actually have France knocking out Spain in the semifinal. And for Argentina and England, this one's going to be a very tough one, but I think England's going to get it done in the semifinal. Messi's run eventually comes to an end. And then, of course, the final, France and England, is going to be absolutely insane. It'll be the biggest bitterness between England and France since the 19th century, since Napoleon. Since Napoleon Bonaparte. And I think in the end, I think it's going to be tough, but in the end, Kylian Mbappe gets his second World Cup. And France wins the World Cup, knocking out England in the final. Tough break for England, of course, but hey, it's the farthest England's been in decades. And then the third place game, I have Spain beating Argentina for the third place game. So I think that's going to be the thing. It's just that Argentina is good. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I mean, they've had so many comebacks against Egypt and Cabo Verde and all that. Like, their luck's going to run out eventually, and I think England's probably got the squad for it. But yeah, that would be huge for the English national team to get to the final. Though that being said, they're the one I would cheer. I would want them to get outside the United States. I want them to take it home this year. The English fans have been waiting long enough for it. So, we're about 59 nautical miles from Kansas City, Kansas. No, Kansas City, Missouri, I mean. Actually, there's technically Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri, but we're mainly visiting Kansas City, Missouri. This city is the largest city in state, population 500,000, but the metro area is 2.25 million people. It was founded as a port in the Missouri-Kansas River, and the city became very famous for growth to westward expansion, and got famous Kansas City stockyards. Kansas City is very famous for its fountains. In fact, it's officially nicknamed the City of Fountains, due to the fact that Kansas City has the most. And the reason why Kansas City is called that is because how many fountains it Kansas? There's over 200 of them in the city. The city is also famous for it's famous for its cuisine, especially its steak and Kansas City style barbecue. Um, uh, Especially Kansas City barbecue, which is very famous, especially at restaurants like Arthur Bryant's, Gates and Son, and more. Jazz is also a pretty big deal. Kansas City is actually very famous for jazz. A lot of people may not know it, but jazz is actually extremely popular in Kansas City. In fact, it's so famous for jazz that Kansas City was named by UNESCO as a city of music, making it the only one in the United States to be called a city of music, which is saying a lot, especially when you compare it to cities like Nashville, Memphis, New Orleans. All those places famous for music, and yet Kansas City is the only one famous for music. But yeah, Kansas City is rich in music. And of course, they also got plenty of sports in Kansas City. Most famously, the Kansas City Chiefs of the National Football League are the most famous team in the city. But you also have the Kansas City Royals for Major League Baseball, and Major League Soccer's Sporting Kansas City, who actually play in Kansas City, Kansas, across the state border. So, pretty cool stuff. So very, very cool information about Kansas City. So let's go look outside for a bit. Let's see who's flying with us. I'm sorry I didn't have to look outside recently. Just with this thing not having autopilot, I want to make sure I was flying in the right direction. And with this tendency to go left, so yeah, we're getting pretty close. We're just 51 nautical miles out of Kansas City, Missouri. Again, Kansas City, Kansas. They're both the same. They're both next to each other. So let's do this drafting again. So we're gonna do one with La Liga. So we're gonna do one with La Liga drafting. So we're gonna draft in the Spanish league with the 4-3-3. So let's do I'm doing my own team called RCD Catalunya. It's a fake name. So we pick Athletic Club from 2000 2001. So some interesting options to take. I'm gonna go ahead and get me Ismael Urias as my right wing. He's the highest rated player available. Next team, Barcelona. Oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be interesting because there's Patrick Kluivert. But I'm going to take Frank de Boer as my right back. Defense is kind of important, and I need to do that one. Sevilla. I'm going to go with Renato as my center mid. Barcelona. Oh, okay. So there's Messi, but obviously the right pick is to take Ronaldinho as my left wing. Ronaldinho. That's going to be crazy good. Mallorca. Ooh, this is a good one. Yeah, Jose Marti, take the best player available as my center mid from Mallorca. Real Valladolid. I'm gonna take me the goalkeeper, Jaime. Oh boy, Real Madrid. Oh boy. Yeah, give me Ivan Zamorano as my striker. Take the best player available. Racing Santander. Give me the 80 overall Vladimir Beshchashnik from Racing Santander. So we're gonna go here. Oh, Espanol! Yay, the Pericos. Which Perico am I gonna have to take? I guess I have no choice but to take the center back. Jose Cobos from Espanol. Ooh, Malaga. Like I said, not very many options, so I'll take the left back as my center back. Real Betis. Real Betis, I'm probably going to add the new left back. That would be Nacho. So yeah, offense is amazing in midfield. It's just not really that great. So let's start with that too. So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, nice. Yeah, KFC is the airport, just checking. Yep, it is. It's the final stop. Okay, the team... Mallorca 2004-2005. David Cortez, left back. No. No transfer. No one good enough for Mallorca to get the transfer. Second place in the table behind Atletico Madrid. Celta Vigo. This would be interesting. Yeah, let's take Javier Gil. Let's put him into the left back. Strengthen the left back significantly. So, yeah, we're going to go through Real Madrid. Oh, boy. Who do I want to take? Center back. Yeah, maybe take the goalkeeper. So we're going to go through this. RCD Catalonia got third place, 79 points. Only just. Of course, we're way out of Real Madrid, but we are ahead of Barcelona and Villarreal, of course. So we can play again if we want to. Let's do it one more time. So we got one. We're going to do this one more time with La Liga. So let's see which one we're going to do. Or actually, or we can do the Premier League. Or we can do from both leagues. Let's do that one. This will be fun. So we're going to do the 4-3-3. Let's see. Everyone picks it. We have Celta Vigo from 2024. We're gonna go with let's go with the best player available, Iaspas as striker. Mm-hmm. Take the best player available. Bradford City. Yeah, take goalkeeper. Take Gary Walsh. Why not? Ooh, Nottingham Forest. Central mid, Remo, Frailer. Real Betis. Definitely taking Copy, of course. Center mid. Rayo Vallecano. Take the two central mids. Wigan Athletic. Definitely take him as right back. Oh boy, Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo? Give me Cristiano. Cristiano Ronaldo. Give me him. Southampton. Left back. Man, we're building a really good squad. Okay, to be fair, this is a bit weaker. So I'm going to take the best available player here, center back Gale, who fits the position. Not really good defensively. Real Betis. Give me the 82 center back. So we got one last position, the right wing, and Osasuna. I guess we'll take Armando Alvarez for the right wing. Yeah, that's the thing weakening our position. So yeah, combined league table for both La Liga and that. Oh, that's going to be interesting. So what position? 1992, 1993. No one from there for the right windows. Striker, no. Don Hutchinson. This is 1992 Liverpool. I guess we'll do Wayland. We'll do the transfer. Get him. We're currently third in the table behind Real Madrid and Chelsea, so we're doing pretty good. But yeah, our center back is the weak spot. Is the wing at Coventry City. Let's see what we can add. Yeah, let's bring him into the squad. Team slightly. So far so decent. So we're second in the table. We're just 6 points behind Real Madrid. So we're doing pretty decently. Birmingham City, Sutton. Yeah, 79 overall. So let's see. Okay, fourth place. Though we're 15 points behind the champion Real Madrid. But yeah, pretty decent season for us. Not bad at all. So that concludes a bit of our checking out, of course, this thing. I really like the legacy draft stuff, so we might do that every once in a while, if that's what you guys would like to see. So. So here we go. Kansas City is going to come up very shortly. We're just 25 miles out of Kansas City, Kansas. So, yeah. Kansas City's coming up shortly. Yeah, let's see who's flying with us. I think Shaq OSC's not far behind. I think he's just ahead. Mm, here we go, guys. 22 miles out. Yep, we're getting very, very close to Arrowhead Stadium, so we're about to see there, and we're going to go take some pictures of Kansas City. So here we go, Kansas City. Of course, it's also a song very well known for the Beatles. Um, the Beatles also did their own version of Kansas City, Hey, 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 which was actually their own version, originally by Little White Whitfield. Then it was done by Little Richard, Wilbur Harrison, and of course the Beatles version. The Beatles had their own version of their famous track. So here it is, guys. Kansas City, Arrowhead Stadium. Fun fact about Arrowhead, the site for today's game, of course. Arrowhead Stadium is 76,000 people, and it's the loudest stadium in the entire NFL. At one point, it reached 142 decibels of noise. This place is absolutely insanely loud. It's considered to be one of the toughest home road environments in the NFL. Very tough place to play, of course. And there's Kauffman Stadium, the longtime home of the Royals. So. So here it is, guys. Kansas City, Missouri. There's the World War I Museum. So if you guys notice that building down here, that's the World War I Museum. So here's downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Pretty cool stuff. And here's our airport. So yeah, there's the World War I Museum. So here we go, our final stop. We did it, guys. I know it took a bit of a patience to handle it without a. Here we go. Our landing for today. And we did it. We made it. We arrived here at the airport, guys. Like I said, this thing is really not difficult to land. So we'll stop right here and we'll turn everything off. So guys, welcome to Kansas City, Missouri. So I hope you guys enjoyed this flight. Very enjoyable trip. We'll be back on Sunday, of course, for our Capitol Reef National Park, the last of Utah's 5 national parks. So we're gonna go say hello to OKDo. I haven't raided him in a long time. I haven't raided Kando Stream in a while, so let's go ahead and raid him. So, guys, thank you all so much, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your day and the start of your all's weekends. Take care, everyone, and see you all soon.